save me some.
Hello, my friends. How you doing today? I am doing well, and happy Friday the 13th. Yes, I went out of my way to make a Friday the 13th video. This is my first one I've ever made, but I figured it was appropriate because I realized on Monday that Friday would be Friday the 13th. So what I did is I forced myself to watch every single Friday the 13th movie with the exception of the remake. And I figured I would rank them. I'd rank them by how I think that I would want to watch. Well, I'll rank them by how I watched them. I'll rank them by how I pulled them out, and I was like, and I'll tell you the reason why. I'll tell you the reason why I did it, and we'll go with that. Okay. So we'll start with 10 because there's actually 11. So there's 10 regular Friday the 13th with the regular Jason, and then there's the remake, which would make number 11 as there being 11 Friday the 13th movies. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pick them up as we're gonna go backwards. So we're gonna go backwards to from worst to best. Okay, that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna rank them from worst to best. Okay, then I'll tell you why. I'm telling you, I took notes. I took notes for you, so that way we can talk about this. Now, let's make this clear. I'm gonna do this like every other YouTuber does. This is my ranking. Okay, you guys probably have your own favorite, but I'll tell you why these were my favorite. I'll tell you why these are my go-to, because there are certain Friday the 13th movies that if I feel like watching it on a Saturday or Sunday afternoon, I will grab a Friday the 13th movie, and it doesn't start with number one. Okay, it starts with something else, and I just find it to be have a better storyline, more enjoyable. I don't know, because like I said, there's gonna be a lot of people this is gonna be very controversial. I'm gonna be controversial right now because it's gonna be some of you gonna be like, how could you not say number one is number one? Because that's the classic. Well, there's a reason for it. There's a reason why I don't pick number one for number one. All right, so I'm gonna get going. I'm gonna get going too. So listen, happy Friday 13th. I hope you enjoy this, and you can comment below if you want to take notes during this video, and then put in the comments your ranking of best from worst to best Friday the 13th movies. Go right ahead. That'd be kind of fun. Or maybe you'll agree with me. Maybe you'll be like, okay, I get you. Maybe you'll forget. Like me, I'll tell you right now, I get in maybe the medication, the Xanax amnesia or something going like that. Something's going on where I'm forgetting a lot of stuff. But I'll tell you right now, some of these movies I watched, and even though I've watched them so many times, I felt like a couple of them I was like watching for the first time. I think it's because some of them I just stay away from. Some of them I just kind of like, no. All right, so let's stop. Let's just start. Okay, right, here we go. So first one, which is actually the last one because we're going backwards here, is Jason Goes to Hell, which is kind of ironic because this is, I believe, the only Friday the 13th movie that I've actually seen in the movie theater. Like I was excited when Jason was going to hell. Okay, I was excited because it was in 3D. Okay, and I remember driving up with my father, and we went up to the this movie theater that was kind of far away because they were the only ones that offered the 3D with the 3D glasses and everything like that. And it was like, but the problem is the only 3D part of this movie was the last, like, I don't know, 10 minutes or whatever it was. So as a younger child or younger person, I don't know what year this came out with, but as a younger person, I don't think I was a child, but I was probably young teens, if not maybe just turned into my as that age group. I was looking for 3D. I was looking for Jaws 3D. I was looking for a movie that I was sitting there from beginning to end, because this was during the time when people would actually search for 3D movies. And I remember going to see it, and I'm like, not only is there no 3D, but there's no Jason. There's no Jason. Jason was barely in this movie, and this was the Jason that was jumping into bodies. Now all of a sudden he's like a shapeshifter Jason, and it was very confusing. Okay, the storyline was not that captivating, and the 3D. Actually, I gotta tell you, when the snake things come out of the eyes and like came at you, it for the year and the time period, that part was impressive. But the fact that I had to wait the whole entire time, and the fact that the movies themselves that we buy on physical media are not in 3D, that's a little bit of a problem. Okay, it was a little bit of a problem, and this was a little bit of a tough watch. Okay, so last one, Jason Goes to Hell. So Jason pretty much, yeah, he went to hell on that one because I don't know what happened there. I don't know what happened. The cover's great. Beautiful. I love the cover. And I will tell you, I did go with all my DVDs instead of the Blu-rays, or if I do have 4Ks. I think I have the 4K of the new one, but I did not upgrade Jason X and this crappy movie for on 4K because I was like, because number one, it didn't come with the Blu-ray, and I know everybody's all like in line for this stuff. They're like, oh, I did upgrade the remake, but I was like, after updating the remake, I'm like, I'm not updating anymore because they don't play properly in my player, so I'm not gonna do it. I will tell you, I watched all of these on DVD on purpose. I watched them on purpose because I will tell you that the picture quality on these DVDs I'm gonna be showing you, a couple of the older ones had that little pop-in thing, the little white specks and and even the grainy Paramount symbol at the beginning. It was very nostalgic. I'll tell you right now, it did not need to be 4K quality. It did not need to be Blu-ray quality. I watched every single one of them on DVD, and I thought that they were great. I thought they were absolutely great. So, with that said, let's not knock DVDs too much. And I got a couple of these guys that are diehard 4K fans, and they're like, "Oh, don't throw out your Blu-rays, burn your DVDs." No, don't do that. Save them for nostalgic purpose and for the fact that, comment below. Don't the DVDs have the best nostalgic covers? I mean, these are what I remember as a child standing up looking at that marquee, waiting to go into that movie theater. This is what I remember. This is what I remember at my video store when I went to go rent it on VHS. I don't remember the 4K covers that remade whatever by these exclusive artists and stuff like that. That's not what I remember. And I want my nostalgia. So that's where I went with the DVDs. That's why I went with DVDs. I will tell you, if you do own the DVDs, they all playing perfectly, so that make you feel good. All right, next one. And this one, it tore me a little bit. Because I was like, sure. I really do enjoy this movie, but to me, this could have not been Jason. This could have been anybody. This is just a great sci-fi movie, and this is Jason X. I love the idea. I love the whole premise of the fact that all of a sudden Jason can so beginning of the movie, they want to catch Jason and they want to test him, whatever, because his body can rejuvenate like Wolverine. So they want to know why Jason can rejuvenate his body. They want to figure that out, so that way, for technology purposes and scientific purposes, they want to figure out why he can rejuvenate. Like, he can get shot 100 times and his body just heals itself. So I started watching the movie, and I'm like, okay, so this was a decent movie, but this didn't have to be a Jason movie. And the fact that when he rejuvenated himself and when he went, I don't know how many years into the future or whatever it was, which I always love when they go so many years into the future, and it's actually around where we are right now. And I'm like, wait a minute, I ain't in no spaceship, and it's 2025, and I'm not floating around the galaxy, and it's not 2025, and planet Earth is not being, it's like, I love those movies where they kind of didn't predict properly, and now here we are in 2025, and this stuff's not going on. Tell me if that's ever happened to you. If you're watching a movie like you used to watch when you were a kid, and all of a sudden they tell you a date and it's a sci-fi movie, and you're like, that's not happening. And it didn't work. I guess it didn't work. So in the case of Jason, I'm kind of glad, because I wouldn't want him running around killing anybody. But the fact that they had this machine that would rejuvenate you, so I guess they figured out the technology, and it would fix cut off arms, because at the beginning of the movie, the kid's arm gets cut. Sorry, there's going to be some spoilers. Let me just tell you, there's going to be some spoilers. Kid gets his arm cut off, and they rejuvenate the arm, and am I saying that right? The arm reconnects or whatever, and then it's like a whole thing, which is kind of cool. I mean, and the special effects were kind of cool. And I got to tell you, it did have one of my favorite killings of Jason, which is when he dips the girl's face in the cryogenic freeze or whatever it is, and it smashes her just like a vase. That was pretty cool. But the fact that, now we got Jason. Anytime one of our favorites, like Leprechaun, goes into outer space, or Jason goes into outer space, I think the writers ran out of things to write about. They're like, okay, we're gonna take a guy that started off killing kids in a camp, Camp Crystal Lake or whatever. That was his story, his backstory, or whatever. And so we're gonna go to that. But now we've gotten so far. We're gonna put him in outer space. Yeah, so that's why that one stayed at the end. And but besides that, it's actually a really good movie. I really, if I had to buy the 4Ks and upgrade, I would buy Jason X and probably leave Jason Goes to Hell where it is, because and actually I will tell you for a fact that my regular Blu-ray 4K dealer that I purchased from, he sold out of Jason X. He's got plenty of Jason Goes to Hell, so that's kind of funny. Some of these I have notes because I took notes. I took notes for you. I took notes. All right. All right, so the next one I have in line is Friday the 13th Part VII, which is 5, 6, 7, 5, 6, 7. So 7, The New Blood. Yes, that's what it is. And okay, so this be Kerry versus Jason. Okay, that's what this is. This is the girl has telekinesis, and she's working with she's actually working with what's his face there? The guy Weekend at Bernie's. Weekend at Bernie's is her psychiatrist, and he's trying to get her to do her telekinesis for his own bidding. You know what I mean? He's like one of these type things there. And I will tell you that this had the worst opening theme. Like, some of the Jasons give you that James Bond feel. You know, like he'll like, there'll be some kind of killing or whatever it is, and then all of a sudden he'll slice the screen, and all of a sudden it's like, boo-boo, and it goes into this music. And then it's just a black screen with the words of the actors, and it goes on. This one, just the music alone was like, it wasn't freaking me out, but I was like, I had enough, to the point where I started fast forward and past the music. I'm like, listen, I think I can give them enough judgment on the music that tell you that the opening music for The New Blood is a little rough there. And this one is where you get Skeletor Jason, okay? Yes, Jason being the bottom of the lake, okay? He all chained up, that classic thing that whenever we think of Jason, we think of Jason chained up in the bottom of the lake by his neck on a rock, you know what I mean? They even sell these TikTok things on the TikTok shop or whatever. Jason in a bottle with his neck tied to a rock. And then all of a sudden the girl goes out there, she's missing her daddy or whatever, and she's having her telekinesis powers or whatever, and she just shakes Jason free. And Jason's free to go out and do whatever heck he's gonna go do. And then I gotta tell you, once I got to the end of this movie, I felt it was very Kerry versus Jason Home Alone. she had all these like, she's making these the gas pump thing fly up in the air and stop fire, and it's like she's using her mind powers to hit him in the head with things as he's walking up the stairs. It gave me a little bit of a Jason meets Home Alone meets Kerry, and I mean, it was decent. It was watchable. But it's not my go-to. It's not my go-to when I go to Jason movies, Friday the 13th movies. Next one we have, and I didn't even take notes on this one because I mean, it's self-explanatory. Jason Takes Manhattan. Yes, I guess at the time, I got to tell you, if I know, I'm gonna refresh a couple of memories there. Everybody was going to Manhattan. The Muppets were taking Manhattan. And this is kind of like a play. To me, this was a play on The Muppets Take Manhattan. So they decided to go, all right, The Muppets Take Manhattan to do it. So I think Jason's going to take Manhattan. You know, and it was like one of these funny things where it's like, so I watched the movie, and the problem I had with the movie is that almost the whole movie was on the boat. Like, all of the killings and all of the chasing and all of the Jasons and the moving around, it was all done on the boat. And then once he does get into New York, there is this awesome like shot of him, which I would love to have a poster of, the shot of him when he's standing in Times Square, and they kind of just do like a pan up on him, and he's in Times Square, because it was just cool. It would be cool to see Jason hanging in Times Square. But as far as movie wise, it was a little draggy. To me, I thought it was a little draggy, and I wanted more New York. Like, I could picture, like, why couldn't Jason go into subways and stuff like that? Why couldn't Jason go take a subway? You know, why couldn't Jason go do stuff like that? But instead, they spent all this time on the boat, and then finally, when he got to where he had to go, it was like, okay, he had already killed most of the people that I kind of really cared about, and then once we had that, you know, the final girl, and it was kind of the same spiel, you know what I mean? We did get more Jason, though. You know, that's something seems to be the problem I started noticing with these things. As a kid, I remember, in my kid mind, I remember there being like so much Jason that I was like creeped out. But after watching these over again, I'm realizing that, wow, Jason really wasn't in the movie. Like, his hands were in the movie, like the slicing and slashing and what all this stuff like that. But you don't really see, they don't really focus on his mask or his head or his, some do, but a lot of them don't, you know, and it's like, it kind of leaves it up to your imagination, which is probably what the writer-director was looking for, because they always say that leaving it up to your imagination makes for a better movie, because there's absolutely, I think it's Texas Chainsaw Massacre, you see absolutely no, like, penetration of knives or axes or claws or whatever he might be using. That was that meat hook thing there. You don't see anything like that, but in your mind, you think you do. Matter of fact, they were trying to get a G rating for Texas Chainsaw Massacre, and I'm like, how the hell would they do that? I mean, but according to them, there was nothing going on with it. And as I go back and look at it, I think the only thing that they kind of messed up on was that if you use a different color blood or you don't show any blood at all, then they can get away from that R rating or X rating. But it looks like Texas Chainsaw Massacre was on their way for an X. And literally, there's no, you don't see anybody actually get killed. You know what I mean? Like they get killed, but you don't, the gore part is in your head. It's not really there. So yeah, Jason, yeah, he went to New York and he didn't even get like a bumper sticker or something. I mean, that's a bummer. All right, next one, Friday the 13th, part 6, Jason Lives. Now, I got a lot to say about this one. Okay, I will tell you, I enjoyed it. I thought it was good. Opening scene, we got Horseshack in the car with I think it was American Ninja. Okay, I think Horseshack. I'm not. Listen, comment below. It 100% was Horseshack. But was the other guy that stars in this movie American Ninja? I don't know. But I put down here. I had a problem with Horseshack and American Ninja being in a car, and because right away I'm like, I'm like, this isn't Welcome Back, Kotter. This is a Friday the 13th movie. Why is Horseshack? And he doesn't even have like the curly hair like Horseshack. But you got. Did they want us not to believe that was Horseshack? Because I don't know. I picked up on it right away. I don't know about you guys. Did you pick up on it right away? I picked up on it right away. All right. So this is Frankenstein, Jason. Okay. So they decide they're gonna go make sure Jason's dead, which was a little confusing to me because the prior movie wasn't even Jason. The prior movie was the father of a kid that got killed and wore the Jason outfit. So technically, who did they bury? Did they bury Jason, or did they bury the guy that was upset about the kid? And who the heck did this guy stick the pole in? I mean, it did say Jason Voorhees on the headstone, but and then all of a sudden they stick the pole in the guy because he's angry, and then he sticks the pole in his chest. And it just so happened a bolt of lightning comes, like the clock tower from Back to the Future, and energizes which I gotta say probably has one of the cooler openings as far as like Jason opened his eyes with the maggots in his eyes and everything like that. I was like, we're on our way. But it just wasn't quite there to be like a #1 spot. You know what I mean? I don't know where I'm at right now, but this was not a #1 spot. I'll put numbers on the thing that will help me and you go along with where the heck I am at. Because I know when I get to the bottom, I'm done. So let me see what else here. We got okay, so this was another thing. Too calm. Okay? Everybody in this movie was very calm. Like there's a scene where like Jason, like he's resurrected and he's walking towards this car, and this girl's driving the car, and the guy's in the passenger seat, and they literally drive right up to him. They're like, oh no way. And they stop backing up, and it's like it's all like wet and everything, so they're in like the mud, and she's like, oh no way. And it's like, I'm like, listen to me, I don't know about you. Okay, I don't care how strong you are, how tough you are, what your hang up is or whatever, how macho man you think you are. If Jason Voorhees be standing in front of my car with a hatchet in his hand, or a whatever, hatchet, a machete. Okay, with a machete in his hand, I'm hitting the gas as hard as I can and nailing that sucker. And then I'm gonna keep going. I'm not even gonna look back, because those idiots, they always look back. And they always stop the car. They get out of the car and go check. Oh, is he okay? Of course he's okay. He's Jason. He's going to be okay. Because we're like 20 minutes into the movie and we still got another hour. Listen, I know how this works. He's fine. Stay in the damn car. Take off. Some people are just stupid. Okay, and this one was plain stupidity. And I got to tell you, there was a part that got me a little happy though, because we got a lot of Jason, and we actually had kids and counselors. We don't get a lot of kids and counselors. Listen, so Jason's all about Camp Crystal Lake, and he was, the counselors weren't watching him, and that's why his mommy got mad and everything. So he's all about the Crystal Lake and the kids and the counselors and stuff, killing the kids and the counselors. That's his thing. And finally, we got some kids and we got some counselors, but they don't really run the movie around the kids and the counselors. They're kind of running around all kinds of other stuff. You know what I mean? But definitely better than everything else I put in front of me so far. Okay. We're going. I'm throwing these notes away as we go along. All right. Got it. So then I decided to go with this one. Now this one I jumped around, and because I'll tell you right now, I got fed up with like Jason doing the same Jason things. So I was like, you know what? I know for a fact that this is not Jason doing the same Jason thing. So I'm gonna break up my little run of watching regular old Jason doing his regular old Jason things, and I'm gonna go at Friday the 13th Part 2, where we got Baghead Jason. We got Baghead, One Eye Jason. That's what we got. Jason peeking through that one eye Jason there. This movie actually has a really good ending, but it kind of has a little bumpy beginning. You know what I mean? It's like they literally go through all of this stuff where it's like I believe the first so many minutes of the movie or whatever is actually the entire part one of the movie. You know what I mean? Like the part, like they're explaining part one for so long at the beginning of this movie. I might as well have not watched part one of the movie. You know, it just became a thing. Okay, but yeah, I wanted to mix it up. So really, this is probably not in the right part of the category. It's probably not in the right ranking or whatever, because this is actually halfway decent. But I needed to see some Baghead Jason after watching 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 regular Jasons just going out slashing people and doing that kind of stuff. I wanted to break it up a little. Baghead Jason. So that's where we went with that. And Friday the 13th 2 is actually really, really good. I probably could have put that next to 2 or 3 or whatever. It probably could have been the same thing, but because I was kind of, well, I'm not gonna say fed up, because I can never get fed up of a Jason or a Freddy or a Michael Myers like that. Those are the classic horror icons. Okay, so for me to sit here and say I get sick of them, I don't get sick of them. It's just, you know, if you try to sit down in a couple of days and watch every single Friday the 13th movie, you're gonna want to switch it up a little bit. You're gonna want to watch a little something in between. All right, and then the next one is okay, what I got here? Okay. Friday the 13th Part 3, or Friday the 13th 3D. Now, I put this one as, what do we got here? This is number 1, 2, 3. This is number 4. Okay, I got this at number 4. Because of the 3D. Listen to me. I don't know about you, but this one will forever be iconic because this introduces Jason's hockey mask. This is the one where Jason finally shows up. You get no bag. He's not running around with a bag over his head anymore. He ain't a little boy in the river. You know what I mean? In the lake. Now he's Jason. Now he's got the hockey mask. He's good to go. He's on fire. And but the problem I had was that this movie was probably, like, I have this on this isn't it, but I have it on Blu-ray that comes with the 3D glasses. And it's actually pretty cool. You know, the 3D is really, really cool. But watching this not in 3D, it kind of loses something. If you've ever watched Jaws 3D without the 3D, it's the same thing. Like, you know, they shot it in a certain way so that way it would be 3D. And the people back in the day when they watched this in the theater, it was probably very exciting for them to see a harpoon come flying at their head. You know, one of those harpoon guns, we'll see the thing come flying at them and everything. But unfortunately, we do not have that technology. Okay, and I did not have that experience. So it was a lot of like, wow, that would have looked really cool if that was in 3D, but I'm not really super scared about it because literally, I'll tell you, even on the DVD, even worse on the Blu-ray, and I don't even know how it would be on a 4K. So this is where the 4Ks kind of get a little sketchy here. You can literally see the fishing line when he shoots the harpoon gun thing, so that it traces the thing from to the guy's head. It was a thing. It really was a thing. But this was halfway decent. And I got to tell you, this will forever be a classic in the world of Friday the 13th lovers and collectors or whatever, because this introduced the hockey masks to Jason. So yeah, but not my go-to when I want to just sit down and watch a Jason movie. Okay. And then the next one we have, boom, Friday the 13th Part 1. And you're probably like, whoa, dude, that's the first one. It's a classic. Listen, it was a murder mystery. Okay, it was this was a mad mommy. Okay, and like I said, I'm gonna give you some spoilers here. And this was a like a Angela Lansbury CSI whodunit. Like this, you don't see nobody through the whole dang movie. You just see it's like you see a lot of people going, "Ooh, it's you," and "Hi, oh, what are you doing here?" And it's like one of these things, and you don't know who it is. You're like, who did it? And I don't remember seeing this for the first time when I was a kid, but this was probably before they even introduced like Jason, when you actually got to see. Yeah, not wow. That was really stupid. Of course, it was before they introduced Jason, but because of my age group, I had already seen Jason. So when I went to watch this movie, I was expecting Jason, but there was no Jason. You know what I mean? So it was a little bit tough. And then at the end, when you find out, oh, it's just a mad mommy because the counselors were having sex and smoking marijuana or whatever. They need to die because you let my boy drown in the lake. This could have been an episode of I don't know, Law and Order, or one of those things that my wife watches at like 3 o'clock in the morning. I mean, it's a classic. It will always be a classic. The cover art is iconic. Okay, and without this, we wouldn't have the story. But I don't know if where they were like if this was the only movie that ever existed as far as the Friday 13th movie franchise, where as long as if it just stopped at this first one, what would we have had? We wouldn't have had a iconic horror superstar like Jason Voorhees. We would have had a lot of dolls of his mom. I mean, would she fit in with Bobby? I don't know, but I was looking at it, I'm like, yeah. Listen, it will always be a classic, and listen, all you guys that love Friday 13th, I'm probably all making you cringe right now because you're like, it's the first one. You got to watch the first one. If you watch them in order, then you'd understand. But I mean, comment below, like if you want to watch a Friday the 13th movie on like a Saturday or Sunday, and you got them all lined up on your wall, and you know that you're very familiar with the movies, would you grab part one first to watch it? If you could just watch one, would you grab part one? I wouldn't. I wouldn't. All right. Next one we have here is okay. So I got two left. Okay, these are my top two, and I'm going to tell you why. Because these are the ones that I have watched the most in my life. These are my go-tos. These are the ones that I enjoy, and I kind of had to bounce back and forth between what would be number one and what wouldn't be number one. But I'll tell you why. Next one is Friday the 13th, the final chapter. Okay, and let's just throw it out there. It has Corey Feldman in it. Okay, do I have any? Must I say more? This is the Corey Feldman one. Okay, this is Corey Feldman. Let me see here. What did I put it? Oh, okay. So this not only is Corey Feldman, this is the Crispin Glover one. Okay, so I have refreshed my memory there. I just wanted to make sure that okay, good. I'm good. Yes, you get the classic Corey Feldman. Okay, before he went wackadoo. And before Stand By Me and Lost Boys and all that stuff, you get the little young Corey Feldman, and they got that scene of him like with the girl undressing in the window, and he's like, I tried to put myself back to when I was a kid, and the first time I saw a girl undressing, or in general or whatever, like if I watched like a movie or whatever, I think his acting was a little bit overacting. I don't know if I'd be jumping around on my bed and flopping around like a fish and all kinds of crazy stuff that he was doing because he was seeing a nude girl or a girl changing in the room next door. And then his mother comes in, he makes believe he's sleeping and everything. But I'm like, okay, this Corey Feldman, there he goes again, overacting, okay? But on top of that, he was young, he was younger. We got Crispin Glover dancing this. The Crispin Glover dances in this, and the guy from Last American Virgin that I don't think did much of anything else after Last American Virgin. And they to me did a little bit more character development in this one, so I really enjoyed the relationship between Crispin Glover and Last American Virgin guy. And I don't know what the heck his name is because he's not important enough for me to remember his name. But he's giving a hard time about how he's got a limp. Talking about he's like, I really don't like the way you talk to me about that. You know what I mean? But then he ends up being the one that ends up having with one of the girls, and there's Last American Virgin guy, I guess, remaining a virgin on the couch watching some kind of old reel of some girl stripping or whatever. And but I will tell you, the character development was a lot better in this. I also like the whole fact that the Corey Feldman character was making masks. To me, I always found that to be very fascinating. That like when he first goes into the room and he starts showing the guy like the things that he made and everything like that. I always found it to be really fascinating. Then the fact that we get to the end of the movie and Corey Feldman shaves his head, okay, so he can make believe he's little Jason, so he can scare Big Jason or confuse Big Jason to believing that he's little Jason, so they can go and kill Big Jason. It's interesting. It's good, and like I said, it makes you actually feel bad for. This is probably one of the few Jason movies I actually were like, Oh man, I don't want that guy to die yet. I'm enjoying Crispin Glover and his goofy ways and his fancy dancing. Okay, I'm enjoying that. So let's not kill him yet. Okay, let's wait till the end. Let's kill that other guy. I can't stand him already. Anyway, he cheated on that girl. He left for the twins that they found in the thing at the bike, and it's like, it doesn't make any sense. And then on top of that, I'm like, I mean, during this time frame, where we at here? 1984. Were girls a lot easy to get? I don't know. Were they like I don't know about you, but I mean, 84, I was a little bit young, but I guess you could just ride your bike up to like a random dude or whatever, and who has a girlfriend, and all of a sudden you're like, okay, you're gonna be my girlfriend now, and that's okay with everybody. You know what I mean? These movies are a little bit you gotta leave a little bit to the imagination. But like I said, what I do is when I watch a movie, I put myself in the character. I pick a character, and I put myself in the shoes of the character. And usually I don't put in the Jason movies, I don't put my shoes in the character of Jason. I'm like, what would Jason do? I don't do that. I'm like, oh, I want to be one of the guys that running and not falling. You ever notice that? Listen, number one, Jason don't run. He don't run. So I don't know I don't know how he gets in front of everybody. That's always confused me, because I see these girls and these guys take off. They take off like a bat out of hell. And then all of a sudden, they'll pan over to Jason's feet, just his feet in the mud. And he'll just start walking. You know, so they're running. They're going. I mean, a couple of these girls could be Olympic stars, But for some reason, he knows every little bit of that forest or wherever they are. New York. He guess he got the map from Manhattan, and he was able to figure out how to get to these people, because he knows how to get to you walking everywhere he walks. Now, if I was going to be a horror character, I would definitely be Jason, because you ain't gonna catch me running anywhere. I run anywhere, I'll probably have a heart attack. I ain't running nowhere. So if I had to be a horror character, I'd probably pick Jason. Freddy does a little bit of too much running, and maybe Michael Myers and him could probably hang out pretty good, because they're a couple of walkers too. But Michael Myers, he drives a car and stuff. Jason don't drive a car. Jason don't have his license. Yeah, this one is one of my go-tos. This is the one I really enjoy, only because I really enjoy that camaraderie between the characters, and then it has some pretty good kills in it too. Yeah, so we're going with the final chapter, and my number one go-to is it opens up with this heavy guy or whatever, and he's eating chocolate, and he wants to help the girls hang the laundry or whatever, and they're like, I want to help you. And he goes to one of the girls, no, get out of here. And he gets chocolate all over the sheets and stuff like that. Then he moves on to this guy that's cutting wood. And you could tell right from the start that this guy is not happy. He don't want nothing to do with this guy and his chocolate and his stories. And the kid's like, I'll share some of my candy bar with you. He goes, I got another candy bar in my pocket, but don't tell the girls. I saved it just for you. And he puts the candy bar on top of the thing, and the guy takes the axe and cuts the candy bar in half. And the guy's like, the kid goes, what's he say? He goes, that's it. I've had it. He goes, he gets mad at the guy for cutting his candy bar in half, and then the guy takes the axe on him, and that's how the thing opens. And the coroners show up, and the people for the ambulance and everything, and they see the kid and everything. They put the body on there, and this is where this big spoiler comes in. There's a big spoiler, and it's kind of ironic that this is my favorite, because this is a little bit of spoiler and a little bit ironic. So we go through the whole movie, and come on top of the fact that this has probably one of the best storylines. Like I said, we got a mental institution. We got people that are all going through different kind of mental issues. We're getting a little bit of backstories on each one of them, or what's going on. We got people getting hacked up and killed left and right, but like the cops really not hanging out at this mental institution, which I always found to be very, very odd. They're more focused on other things. And on top of that, I was like, Dudley. Oh, Dudley from Different Strokes. Listen, as a kid, you have no idea how excited I was to see Dudley from Different Strokes on Friday the 13th. I was like, oh my gosh. Where's Arnold? Where's Willis? We got Dudley. Okay, Dudley's doing something else. Listen, Dudley has made it. Okay, he's not just that guy that was riding on the bike man's back on that weird weird episode that always creeps me out to this day. You know, that episode where on Different Strokes where they're like selling bikes. You know, the bike salesman one. They make fun of it on a lot of cartoons. And the bike salesman's like, "Hey, why don't you come back here, kids?" And they go back there, and the next thing you know, Dudley's on his back playing. I think it was Tarzan with no shirt on or whatever. He's like, and his dad shows up like, "What's up, son? What are you doing over here with no shirt on?" "Oh, yeah, Mr. Whatever asked me to come in the back, and he gave me some Jesus juice and had me ride on his back or whatever while we watched some cartoons with some naked mice." I was like, Dudley, what are you doing over there Friday the 13th? And then he becomes like the main dude throughout the whole movie. Like it's all about Dudley. It's all about what Dudley's gonna do next. To me, I don't know. That's what it was anyway. And then we get the big kill scene at the end, and Biff Bam Pow. That's all I gotta say. Biff Bam Pow. We find out. Oh, spoiler alert! If you want to shut off now and just hit like, share, subscribe, do that. Shut off now. Big spoiler alert! It was the kid in the beginning of the movie's father, dressed up like Jason, who was actually killing everybody because at the beginning of the movie, the mental institution people were not taking care of his son properly, and he had not seen his son supposedly or whatever. He didn't know where his son was, and then he realized that was his son that was just butchered by this wackadoo, and he was mad at the mental institution. So Dudley and the girl, whatever, they do a little swinging thing, knock him onto this. I don't even know what it is. I think it's something to turn to till the earth or whatever. I'm not sure what it is. Some kind of farming device, and they push him out the window thing of the. It's like a barn door. I'm all over the place. And they fall back. He falls backwards, and then all of a sudden the mask falls off, and you get to see how he was wearing like a bald cap, and he was wearing the mask over the mask, but really they reveal, oh no, it was like Scooby Doo. It was like Scooby Doo. Like, oh, it's Mr. Jenkins. Oh no, it's like one of them damn things. And the cop's like, yep. Come to find out that was his son that was killed before, and I guess he just couldn't take it. I'm like, oh my gosh, we're having a Scooby-Doo moment on Friday the 13th. So I'll tell you right now, no matter how many times I put in this movie, and I know who the killer's gonna be, I still enjoy the movie itself. Like, you know, the end part when you're like, oh, it's silly Mr. Jenkins that fell out the window, whatever, and then here he is, he's mad about his son and everything. I kind of look past all of that because I'm really enjoying it. Listen, the Dudley's brother, he's in the back of a van with some his chick or whatever, and they're smoking weed, and they're like, it's like a whole. Can I go visit my brother? He's like, hey there, beautiful. You know, it's like, oh my goodness. And then the guy gets killed while he's taking a dump. He had the burritos or whatever. He offered his enchiladas. Hey, you want an enchilada? To his brother, which is Dudley, and Dudley don't have an enchilada. But then as soon as the brother leaves, he gotta go take a dump. So he's to me, I don't know, one of my favorite parts. He's in the crapper and he's singing to his girlfriend. Girlfriend's outside the crapper with Porta John, and he's going, ooh baby, and then she's outside. She's like, ooh baby, and they're going back and forth. And then all of a sudden she just stops. He's like, and then the Porta John starts shaking or whatever. And he's like, hey, I'm going to get out there and I'm going to do it. Like, he's getting really, really mad because he's going to go out there. You're going to take care of this woman that's messing with him while he's trying to take a dump. Well, yeah, it wasn't her. It wasn't her. She dead already. Okay? Jason already got her because she was outside of the Porta John. You should have stayed in that Porta John. But then more than likely would have stuck some harpoons through that thing or whatever. Probably would have looked like like some kind of like magician's kit thing or whatever. Because for some reason, Jason always finds these weapons. I don't know where I was questioning some of these movies where I was like, where did he get the machete from? You know, like some of them, he automatically has the machete. Was he built with the machete? Was he born with the machete? Does he come with the machete? That seems to be his weapon of choice. But he does get very creative in some of the movies. I think some of them they were like, oh, you know, I think we're not going to stick to just the machete. We're going to give him a harpoon gun, or we're going to give him a hatchet, or we're going to give him a spear gun, or we're gonna just give him. He's gonna put a knife through. One of my favorites. He's gonna wrap the girl up in a sleeping bag and beat her against a tree until she she falls down dead. You know, I'm like, wow. You know, very well thought out. You know, cool scenes and everything like that. Very memorable. But I'll tell you right now, if you watch all of these at once, like in a day or a couple of days or whatever, they do start to blend into each other. And I gotta tell you that, you know, when I do sit down and watch Friday the 13th, it's usually the final chapter and a new beginning. I just really do like the Crispin Glover and Last American Virgin guy in this. I think it's great. Being the fact that I just realized for the first time in a long time that we get very little Jason. We get very little seeing Jason. Matter of fact, Jason X, I can remember seeing a lot of Jason. But I was like, this ain't Jason though. This is Jason with really red eyes. You know, this is Cyber Jason. You know, this is he can't be destroyed. He's turned into the Terminator. You know, he's this Terminator Jason. The rest of the stuff is, like I said, it's mostly hands and arms and slashes and this, that, and the other. But I remember as a kid, I don't know, it was funny because as I was going back through them, I'm like, man, I remember Jason prominently being in every single movie except for part 1. And then I remember very clearly Jason in part 2. Matter of fact, the part that pops out in Jason 1 that always got to me was not even like the movie itself. That all of like the little random killings that's going on. It was the end where the girl's sleeping in a boat, and all of a sudden, little Jason that drowned in the lake comes popping up, and he grabs her and drops her, takes her out of the boat or whatever, and that's how it ends. And then she wakes up. It was a dream. To me, that was probably the coolest part because that's when I got to see Jason. I was like, finally, and maybe because I saw it later, I was like, finally, that's who Jason's supposed to. So that's why Jason's head looks like that, and Jason's like, because we got the mask. This is why we get to see just a little bit of whatever. That's why Jason looks like that. You know what I mean? It's because he been at the bottom of a lake, I guess. Get eaten by piranha. I don't know, but that's, to me, that's what I remember. So, with that said, my friends, thank you so much for stopping by. I appreciate you. I hope you enjoyed this video. This is very rare for me to do a stay up for a couple days and watch this many movies back to back to back to back, just so I can have it fresh in my memory. And if I might be wrong on some of this stuff, you're free to comment and put me on blast, do whatever you got to do, because like I said, it's kind of been a big Friday the 13th blur for the last couple of days, just so I can make this video for you. But I do know for a fact the 2 movies that I always grab whenever I put on Friday the 13th, and that's The Final Chapter and The New Beginning. And with that said, my friends, thank you so much for stopping by, and I will see you later. You should have saved me some.